Has this happened to you? You're playing the finals, but then your teammates go through a vent that you can't fit through, so you're forced to use one of your abilities, Charge and Slam, C4, your RPG, just to follow your team through. It's just not fair. And according to the law, it's illegal. All vents must be accessible for all players, regardless of size. And all of these final sponsors are complicit in creating buildings that are not up to code. So that's where I come in, the Macro Law Firm. If you or a loved one have ever been discriminated by these vents, call this toll-free number today. By the end of this, we'll be making hotel money, you know what I mean? The Heavy is the biggest class in the finals, much larger than the Lights and Mediums. They have a lot more health, but also a much bigger hitbox. They are the Thick Boy class, the Muscle Mommies. They are essentially the tank class in the finals, prioritizing shielding teammates, causing a ton of destruction, and ultimately creating space for their team. So, if you noobs out there want to understand how to play the Heavy, you came to the right place. And let's first start by talking about their... The Heavy class has 4 specializations. The first specialization is Charge and Slam. When you use it, you'll start charging, and you will destroy any wall in your path and do damage to any enemy you hit with it. If you jump while using this, you will slam down, dealing big damage and knocking away enemies, while also being able to break the floor beneath you. And this has a cooldown of 12 seconds. The Heavy isn't really known for having movement abilities, so this is probably the closest you're going to get to one. Now, this ability is great for chasing down weakened enemies trying to get away. Even if they think they're safe behind a wall, think again. It's a great ability for dealing that final bit of damage you need, since all you gotta do is get your body next to the enemy. And whenever you need to, you can just slam on them like you're in the WWE. When you come off a jump pad and land a crazy slam on enemies, it's one of the greatest feelings the finals can give you.
Oh, I did the thing!
And when your thick booty just knocks people off the map, it's mwah, beautiful. The Mesh Shield is your classic Reinhardt shield that will block enemy damage but allow teammates to shoot through it. The shield has 850 health, and the health will regenerate after the shield hasn't taken damage for a short time. There's no cooldown on it. You can whip it out whenever, but every time you put it away, it will lose 225 health. If it fully breaks, you can't use it again until it has at least 300 health. So this is one of the strongest defensive tools in the whole game. You can truly become a tank and block incoming fire for your team, or you can just use it to ensure that you survive. It's one of the best abilities for helping your team steal a cash out, especially in those last-minute clutch situations. The combination of the Mesh Shield and your big booty can help guarantee your teammate gets that steal. Any tank main coming from Overwatch or Marvel Rivals will immediately understand how to get value out of the Mesh Shield. Next up is the Winch Claw. The Winch Claw has you launch a claw and yoink any enemy hit by it in a range of 12 meters, allowing for easy kills. So yeah, it's basically a Roadhog hook.
Come here, grounded.
They trying to run away? Hook them. The winch is so dumb. They're trying to steal a cash out? Hook them off of it. It can also grab any movable object, including the cash out itself. So you can use the winch claw to manipulate where you want the cash out to be. You can take it off of a moving platform or have it in the open. You can even winch it and have it bounce on a jump pad, making it fly. The cash out will go wherever you want it to go. You can even winch your teammate's trophy, allowing for some clutch revives. And if your enemy is trying to steal the cash out, you don't have to yoink them, just yoink the cash out away. Now, if you miss the winch, its cooldown is 10 seconds. If you land it on an object, its cooldown is 14 seconds. And if you land it on an enemy, the cooldown is actually 18 seconds. So its cooldown is a little more dynamic than most things. The winch is just a strong specialization that was meta dominant for the longest time until they finally made it so you can't winch through shields. Thank God. But even after the nerf, it's still fantastic for picking off enemies. And it's also one of the glitchiest specializations, causing some silly stuff to happen. And last but not least, we have the goo gun. The goo gun is a gun that, you guessed it, shoots goo. It's very self-explanatory. It's not on a cooldown, instead it's like another gun, with 20 ammo that has to reload after running out. Now this is the most bizarre specialization, and easily the most versatile. You can use it to block off entire entry points, which makes defending a cash out a lot easier. Hell, you can fully block off the entire cash out station, just surrounded in goo. You can even knock it around with the goo. Nobody will be able to touch a vault for overtime if you put goo all around it. It can be used as movement to help move across a map easier, whether it be with the goo bridge to cross or using goo to climb faster. You can even make goo stairs, or it can be used offensively. Enemies hit by it will be stopped in their tracks, making them easier to kill. And if you hit an enemy with a goo, it will interrupt them from reviving or stealing a cash out. The goo gun in the right hands can be used to do literally anything. And there's probably even more things you can do with the goo gun. Goo is truly an art form. The Heavy class has 12 weapons that play very different from each other, but what they have in common is that they're all bigger than the other class's weapons. Let's start with the more familiar FPS weapons. The Heavy has 2 light machine guns. The M60 is a great beginner-friendly weapon with the second highest amount of ammo out of all weapons in the game. So it's a lot more forgiving if you're not the greatest aimer. It does struggle at longer ranges, but in close to mid-range, it can shred multiple enemies quite easily. And it just keeps going and going. Now the Lewis gun, on the other hand, is the stronger weapon for mid to long range. And if you're an aimer, it's honestly one of the best weapons in the game, as of recording this video. You can just tear apart teams with ease. Its damage output is just so insane. I don't know who this Lewis is, but Lewis knows how to make a gun. Oh my god! Now, if your goal is a little more range or precision, the Heavy comes equipped with 2 choices of pistols. The 50 Akimbos has you dual-wielding some deagles that are one of the better weapons for mid to long range poke battles. It's a bit weaker in close range as its hipfire is not nearly as accurate as when you're zooming in, but once you get used to its effective range, these bad boys are strong. And side note, they also have some of the best cosmetics in the whole game. You can shoot bananas that reload by eating them, or you can literally shoot finger guns, and you make these silly pew-pew noises when you're shooting. God, these cosmetics are unmatched. The other pistol option is the BFR Titan, which is the newest heavy weapon as of recording. This is a huge hand cannon. While it is similar to the medium's revolver, it shoots a lot slower. But in exchange, it's kinda strong. It's good at all ranges too. It just requires a bit of aim. But when you land shots, you can just delete lights off the face of the earth in 2 taps. It's the definition of high risk, high reward. Because while its damage is insane, you only have 5 shots to do it. And the reload time is a bit long. And you gotta insert each bullet one at a time. You can shoot mid-reload though, so that's nice. So if you got the aim skills, this gun will put in the work for you. Now, if you just want a boomstick, the Heavy has 2 shotguns to choose from. The SA-12 is an automatic shotgun that shoots 4 shots before doing a sort of soft reload, and you'll fully reload when 4 of your magazines are used up, so 16 shots total. For the longest time, this gun has been the best heavy weapon in the game, because heavies usually end up being up close and personal, and this gun is fantastic in that range, especially when the Winch was dominant. SA-12? More like a really good gun, am I right? But if you want a more standard pump action shotgun, the KS-23 is not that at all. Like, yes, this is a pump action, but it has a couple strange properties that make it very unique. Up to 25 meters, it's a hit scan, but after 25 meters, it's a projectile. So aiming with it can be funky, but it also means you can land shots from pretty far away. But what makes it even cooler is its shots can destroy walls. So this makes the gun double as this cool utility for traversing a building or even manipulating the cash box. It's not the easiest weapon to use, but when you get the hang of it, it's a blast. Pun intended. But if you want to get even closer to their face, like up close and personal, the Heavy has 2 melee weapons. The Sledgehammer is one of the most iconic weapons in the finals, and it's so simple. You can either swing normally and fast, dealing 100 damage per swing, or you could swing overhead, dealing 175 damage, which can instantly kill a light. Also, this overhead swing can break down structures, because yeah, of course it does, it's a freaking sledgehammer. Your enemies are nails, so hammer them. The other melee weapon is the Spear, which might actually be the worst weapon in the entire game. It has slightly more range than the sledgehammer, but it's a lot weaker. And its alt fire, while cool as hell, doesn't really do that much, and some of the hits don't even register sometimes. Like, what? Every time I was using the spear class, I actually felt useless. I know there's some spear one tricks who are loyal to this weapon, but to all the spearheads, you can't live like this. Embark, buff the spear! But for those of you that like it hot, the flamethrower. The flamethrower shoots flames at enemies up to 7.5 meters, dealing decent damage and burning opponents. So this means that if an enemy got away from you, they can still die from the burn effect. It's also great to burn goo and counter gas. The flamethrower is one of the most fun weapons in this game. While it is very niche, it can be very strong on the right maps, especially when enemies are clustered. Burn them all! Now, if you want to feel like the TF2 heavy, then use the minigun. This thing has the most ammo in the entire game, with 250. And after a little windup, it just goes, ah! While its reload time is abysmal, the damage it can dish out at close to mid-range is insane. And with your alt fire, you can wind up the minigun to make firing it a lot faster. Now all Embark has to do is add the sandwich, and you can be the TF2 Heavy. The Heavy has one explosive weapon, the MGL. And this... it's... meh. It's just not an easy weapon to get a ton of value with. And since they will always bounce once before exploding, unlike the medium CL40, it makes this weapon a lot less noob friendly. It's fun to shoot into clustered areas, but there's just better, more consistent weapons in the heavy class. So I'm hoping to see this weapon also receive some type of rework, because in its current state, it's just underwhelming. And finally, we have the last heavy weapon, which is also my favorite heavy weapon, the Shack 50.
Did somebody say Shack?
Oh, no, not you. Sorry, bud. This is the Heavy's only assault rifle, and it's unlike any other assault rifle because it shoots 2 bullets at once. Here's how the bullet spreads. They made a nice little diagram. So because of this, it's really strong in close to medium range, and not the greatest in long range. But if you are in close to medium range, it will absolutely melt anybody. It does only have 20 shots, but let's be honest, that's all the shots you'll need. I do recommend getting a sight for most of the heavy weapons, but especially the Shack. It's just so much harder to see without it. Ugh. But if you want the consistency of an assault rifle on the heavy class, the Shack will dunk on the competition. The Heavy has a wide variety of gadgets, but what most of them have in common is their ability to create space for your team and create destruction. Now, there are a few gadgets that every class gets, so let's go over those first. I will be reusing some of the audio from Medium for Noobs here because they're the same. You got access to all the main grenades. The frag grenade goes boom, the pyro grenade makes fire, the gas grenade goes the flashbang goes my eyes! Depending on your situation or your preference, any of these can be good, but definitely has stronger gadgets that are probably worth saving a slot for instead. Okay, I'm done recycling audio. Let's continue. The smoke grenade is good for creating a ton of cover for you and your team, and can make stealing a cash out a lot easier when the enemies can't really see you. Now, the goo grenade is one of the best grenades, and it's fantastic on the heavy class, creating even more cover for your team in a pinch. Plus, it can help you climb vertically, which can be hard to do since heavies just don't got that kind of movement. Now, there are 2 gadgets shared by the medium and heavy classes, the proximity sensor and the explosive mine. The proximity sensor is good when you need to deal with pesky flanking invisible lights causing you issues, and wall hacks is never bad, and the explosive mine is great for defending a position. But both of these gadgets aren't really used on the heavy, and it's because the heavy just has way better gadgets and honestly a better mine. Now, the rest of the heavy's gadgets are exclusive to the heavy class, so I'll just go in alphabetical order from here on out. First up, we have the anti-gravity cube, which is such a wild gadget. It makes all movable objects, including broken walls, cash boxes, and players, float up for 20 seconds, or until it's destroyed. It's a very weird gadget that can annoy your teammates as much as it can help them, but using it to force enemies into the air and stop a steal can be huge. And when paired with the winch, you can really move the cash box to wild places. The barricade is a very, very strong wall, made up of 5 panels, each of them having 800 health. You get 2 barricades per cooldown and can place up to 4 max. It's solid cover that is very difficult for enemies to fully destroy. so you can use it to block doorways or choke points very effectively. When paired with other shields, it's just a ton of cover that's great for reviving teammates or stealing cash outs. Whatever you need it to do, it can do it. The C4 is the bomb. You set it up, and after 2 seconds, you can choose when you want to explode it, which will cause big destruction and deal tons of damage. It's great for opening up walls or roofs to breach a point, and it's best used on a cash box, ready to detonate when enemies try and steal a cash out. C4 yourself. The dome shield is like a Winston bubble, and at one point it was arguably the best heavy gadget for the longest time. It's been a must pick for every heavy build, but then it finally got a nerf to its health, so more heavies are experimenting between dome shield and barricade now. Barricade stonks are up! The dome is still very good. Its ability to give you and your team one-way cover in a pinch is still fantastic. And unlike a barricade, it can be used a lot more offensively to help push and win a fight. When paired with mesh shield, you can almost guarantee that your teammate can steal a contested cash out, even if the enemy team is still alive. The dome shield is just simple and effective for everything, and most noobs will still get a lot of value with the dome. The healing emitter is the newest specialization that heals up to 20 health a second to all teammates near it. It has 200 health, which means it can survive a lot longer than you think. If it does get destroyed, it will go on a 30-second cooldown. But just like the Guardian turret, you can pick it up from anywhere using your tablet. And if you do that, it'll only have half the cooldown. And if you pick it up directly, it'll basically have no cooldown. So please don't leave Chuck behind. Pick him up. It also acts as an arena carryable. So that means your teammates can move it, but so can your enemies. Yay! In team compositions where you don't think you'll be getting a ton of healing, this will greatly help you and your team top off. Now the Heavy's other mine is the Pyro mine, and this deals 50 damage when it explodes on top of 30 burn damage a second. It's a personal favorite gadget of mine to use as a Heavy, especially since it has 2 cooldowns, and fire is just annoying to deal with. The amount of times people will just die from one of my mines, even after I die, is just too many to count. It makes defending a cash out even easier. Now the RPG is actually the best gadget on the Heavy, showing up in every meta build. It can destroy any structure, and it deals 110 instant burst damage, making it insanely good at finishing off an enemy for the kill, over and over and over again. It's also fantastic at blowing up the roof and stopping enemies from stealing your cash out. The RPG is basically a secondary weapon for heavy mains. Just remember that even after the cooldown is up, you have to reload it still. And also, it does a lot of damage to yourself if you're too close. So don't blow yourself up with it, you noob. And the last gadget is the lockbolt. The lockbolt shoots a trap that will attach to any enemy near it, and it will not allow them to go further than 6 meters for 8 seconds, or until it's destroyed. But this trap has 200 health, which is a lot more than you'd expect. The lockbolt is great for stopping an enemy trying to escape and just taking them down. Even if they have movement abilities, they can't go far, making them easy pickings. It's annoying to get hit by one of these, but I won't lie, I don't care because it's so satisfying when it hits multiple enemies at once. It can also attach to the cash out station, meaning that you can move the cash out with it. However, just like the RPG, don't forget to reload it on cooldown. Okay, so that's everything the Heavy has to offer. It's a little less straightforward than a class like the Medium, with a lot of goofier weapons and gadgets, but any of these can be strong in the right hands. But for you noobs who just want a good place to start, I got your back. So now, let's talk about... Here are some loadout suggestions that I think will suit different playstyles, and I'll do 4, so there's one for each specialization. First is the tank build. This is all about shielding and protecting your teammates, really maximizing with the multiple shields. The C4 is there to help defend the cash out or breach on offense, and the RPG is the RPG, all reliable. This class will feel great for players coming from other hero shooters who like feeling like a tank. And the Shack is probably the best weapon to use with these shields, being effective at close and medium range. When using this class, you'll definitely want a medium healer with you, and this will get you the real hero shooter experience in the finals. It's like Mercy and Reinhardt, you know? Beware though, the lights glitch grenade will hard counter you. So if there's multiple lights running multiple glitches, you might want to switch off the dome and put barricade on instead. Barricade stonks are up! Next is the Roadhog build. This build is great as a bit of an off-tank role. The goal here is to try and use the Winch to play more of a high damage role, and it's why I prefer the dome over the barricade here, because it pairs a little bit better with your Winch. And since you're not running the mesh shield, the goo grenade will act as extra cover for your team when they need it. You can't spell winch without win. Next is the Boom class. This class is all about using the Charge and Slam and the KS-23 to cause as much destruction as needed to open up the playing field. It's also a good class for solo queuing. It's less reliant on your teammates having jump pad or gateway to move you around, because buildings won't be standing for long. And this class is also not worried that much about glitches on lights, since they barely affect your gadgets in this build, making you a lot stronger versus that class. And finally, we have the Pyro class. This class is all about gooing up the entire place and then burning it all to the ground. It's a completely crazy class that wants to watch the world burn. The goo gun combos very well with the flamethrower to trap your enemies and then put them in flames, and using the lock bolt to ensure nobody escapes this fiery hell that you've created. Like a wise man once said, sometimes you gotta goo harder. Now, like I said, these are merely suggestions. Change your loadout to fit your playstyle or to keep up with the ever-changing meta. Just know that the Heavy is definitely a solid choice on any team composition. So just have fun with it. Overall, the Heavy class can't be simply categorized. It's the most destructive class while simultaneously also being the most defensive. Regardless, the Heavy provides a ton of important abilities whose ultimate goal is to create space for your team to win and reach the finals. Okay, Life for Noobs will be next. When? Eventually, I promise. I play this game all the time, but I have very little light experience, so that one will definitely take a while. And I'll try my best to make more finals content. It's just hard. There's just so many games coming out. Please forgive me for how long this took between medium and heavy. But with that, I'll catch you later. Ya noob.